we are ready to go on our road trip.
Yeah, we're going to be heading off to Atlanta to the MACNA Aquatic Expo. Right now it's Sunday. We have to get there, you know, it's next Saturday. We're heading out. We've got the RV all set up. We've got the little Mini Cooper towed behind it. Make some stops along the way. Hopefully we're going to see unique corals today. We're going to see Antonio at VCA tomorrow.
A lot of our fish friends.
Reef Automation, Mark Levinson. We're going to see a bunch of people, and we're going to have a good time. And we're going to be gone for a couple of weeks before we get back this way, but we're going to leave the motorhome over there, if you can believe that.
We are ready. Yes, we're ready. Teddy's all excited and we can't wait. We're going to miss our son, Diego, but we'll be seeing him soon in Florida. Stop. And I'm not crying.
So we're excited to get this trip going. We're going down to Unique Corals today, and after we go to Unique Corals, we're going to continue heading eastbound, and tomorrow we'll be in Arizona. That's what it looks like. So it looks like the Toad is ready to go behind the RV. We got this awesome video system. Yeah, we got to get down to Joe's place by 2 o'clock.
How's it going, honey?
It's going.
Look at this gorgeous reservoir. I love it.
So here I am in Van Nuys, California, Lake Balboa, whatever they want to call it. It's at the new Unique Corals facility. I'm going to go inside, see Joe Caparatta. He's going to tell me about all the stuff he's planning for this brand new facility here. I'm here with Joe Caparatta.
Caparatta, easy enough.
It's Fugazi, two Italian guys.
Yep.
How long you been doing Unique Corals?
So Unique Corals started here in California 2012, but technically Unique Corals started in the basement of Manhattan Aquariums in 2006. So 2012 we were down the street, literally you could throw a rock. That's Van Nuys, this is Lake Balboa. And that was from 2012 to really we're still operating out of it, but now we're moving into this building. We purchased this building, so I'm really trying to make it our forever home and do everything really right, and that takes a lot of time. I just started doing retail corals out of here because we just want to focus on farming and corals to do that really well. That facility over there now is a new company called United Reef, and it is just wholesale. And so I am a part of that business, but really there's two guys there, Derek and Austin, that I'm going to give all the credit to. It's a great business if you're a store owner watching this for a really good coral. Also, all the dry goods operates out of here, both retail and wholesale level, as well as the ICP lab.
It hasn't opened yet. We're in the middle of you trying to get it all put together. You're a hands-on guy.
Yeah.
We're going to see a little bit of that, right?
The place is coming out great. I'm super happy with it. It is taking a while, but we're standing in the showroom here. So we will be able to entertain guests. Stop by if you're in the area. Saturday mornings will be open. We'll have a coffee machine.
Coffee.
Come in, hang out, talk corals with us.
Absolutely. It sounds great. So let's take a look around and see how this is coming together for Joe, and you guys get a sneak peek before it even opens. All right, so this is the showroom.
Yep.
You seriously gonna have all this green stuff on all of these aquariums?
No, this is the look. This is it.
So you going that way now?
There's a cost to keeping things clean.
Yes.
So in trying to cut costs, we can leave a little bit of algae on the glass.
But you do have some great looking tanks that I know with this Marco Rock.
Yep.
You know, the plug for Marco Rock, of course.
Yep.
Great aquascapes. Did you do those?
No, so actually Tim Kelly did this one. He surprised me, believe it or not. I was away and he wanted to do something special for this. He used fiberglass I-beam and cut them and glued them all together and then glued the Marco Rock on it. And a lot of these pieces were actually cut with a grinding wheel to get them to fit in nicely. And then we used the Marco E400 to cement them in place. And these tanks are cycling right now. We just set up Neptune systems on everything, so everything will be monitored independently, as well as having a Triton, which is controlling the dose, and we're dosing Triton 4-part on them.
The way it's supposed to be done. Are customers going to be able to buy out of these tanks, or is showroom only?
So this is showroom only. We have all the parts we sell. The kind of brought it all together now in a place that we could do video work, broadcast out to the world, and also have people come in and shop, touch it, ask questions, and get intimate with our products. And we're going to tease people by letting them look through there and seeing the farm. This is our Marco Rocks. Foundation rock on the bottom, a little bit of shelf, and a little bit of reef saver. We selected the smaller pieces and then we crazy glued them together, used some accelerator on it, and then used crushed Marco rock, which is now a powder we offer, to cover the joints. So it makes a seamless transition between one rock to the next to the next.
It looks great, and I prefer this look of the rock over all the flat stuff that I see of the same type of stuff. We're in the cave down here is what it feels like. It's kind of steamy.
Yep.
It's kind of
got
stinky.
that aura,
It's got that
smelly vibe, that fishy.
I love it.
Yeah, me too.
I love it.
That's our business.
You're putting together a whole new place down under here.
Yep.
And this is going to be the place where you're feeding all the corals for the sales that are going to come out of the front of the store and online, right?
You know, our business model traditionally was to import, grow, also sell the fresh imports. I wanted to try to buy as cheap as I could and sell it from market. But now with the freight rates and everything, and who knows what's going to happen to the future of being able to import corals, we really need to hedge against that. We need to farm our own corals and have a dedicated farming facility. And that's something we really lacked in our other place. So this place is going to be purely dedicated for farming.
What kinds of corals? Is it just going to be acroporas? Are you actually going to try to farm and grow out, you know, euphyllias and things like this? Because obviously they take longer and you need more space then. So what is it going to be?
Right, so it has to be what makes sense. As long as we can import, you know, branching hammers for less money than we can to farm them, we will continue to do that. We're not going to spend more money if we can import them.
But the ones that are imported, I'm going to stop you though, because so people know for sure, the ones that are imported come out of a farm over there, right? They're not all coming out of the wild?
Most of Indo now is maricultured.
Okay.
So it's, when you say farming, it's really an open reef farm.
Sure.
It's not inland, but it's technically farming.
Yeah, it's mariculture out in the ocean.
Absolutely.
You know, what we're seeing already, obviously, with the Hawaii thing that happened and the thing that happened temporarily
Everything's moving in one direction.
Yeah, it's obvious.
It might stop a little, but it's still moving in that direction.
Exactly, and so you can pretty much imagine that the wild stuff is going to go first wherever it is, and then they'll still continue to go after mariculture, which is kind of dumb.
And I got to be honest, I kind of don't mind.
Of course.
We can't be taking corals forever, and I'm probably going to get blasted for saying this, but there has to be something in place for us to still do our business but still be sustainable. So training the farmers, taking wild, planting them on the farms like they're doing in Indonesia. It's proven to be highly sustainable. It creates jobs for locals.
So that's the correction there, because I thought you were going to say that even that was going to be problematic.
No.
That is the problem with that is that even that has been viewed in a negative light by some people.
Well, it's a wide brush. They paint it all.
They paint it all that way. It looks like you're taking stuff out of the ocean, and that's all they look at. So it's going to go away the wild cut stuff, which is, again, I'm with you. I'm good with that. But I'd like to see more of the mariculture stuff, also because there are people around the world who can raise their standard of living by doing mariculture and helping us out over here, right? And it certainly would be better for the environment, everything probably, if it's done that way.
Right, 100%. And in the absence of this, they're just going to dynamite their reefs. We've seen that all over the place.
Yes.
Even in Solomon Islands and Honiara, they dynamite their reefs when they have no choice. They got to feed their family, and you know, who are we to judge them?
The dilemma in a lot of the coral farming, though, is those euphyllias and things that are just so slow because the economics just can't work the same way.
Right.
You know?
And now with the freight rates that have gone up so much, it's becoming almost advantageous to grow the corals in here and wait for them to grow. So that's why we need a lot of tanks. So we really can grow this stuff like euphyllia, not just favias and fast-growing green star polyps and whatnot.
Right.
But we want to make those corals cool again too. I mean, the wall of green star polyps is awesome.
Well, there is a resurgence in the flowy corals right now.
That is all the rage.
Yeah, days, weeks, months.
Days, weeks away. I'm from New York, and we use every bit of square foot we can in New York City. So my initial setup at Unique Corals in the basement was 3 racks, 3 fiberglass raceways high. And to view the third one, you had to get up on a ladder. Here in California, everybody goes single tier.
Yeah.
So I'm going double, and I'm getting a lot of heat from my staff. Well, we don't want to have to go up high. I'm like, dude, we paid for all this space.
So I call it being John Malkovich.
So really, it's running now.
What's the timeline here? When can somebody walk in the front door?
I'm going to say by midsummer, we're going to be fully operational here. When the music is on full time, a curated selection for retail, that's when I know the place is ready. Couple months.
Couple months,
Hang
okay.
in there. Yep.
In the meantime, you're a Triton guy. You've been doing Triton for a long while. You're the guy that brought Triton to the USA. So I just was upstairs looking at that. We're going to go take a look at the ICP machine that Joe uses here. He's got a cool little lab set up. Let's go take a look.
Cool. If this thing even fits me. Yeah, it does.
Wow. You made me wear this thing. If I come in the room, I gotta wear this? Is that it?
Yeah. Well, usually you're not supposed to wear anything underneath it, but since, it's Terence, we're gonna make him wear all his clothes.
I don't know if it quite fits or not. Anyway, this is the ICP lab. We're in it's not hermetically sealed, but it's very cool. The way he's got it set up with a glass door and everything. So this is the magic machine. I've seen it at some of the trade shows and whatnot. This is what everybody's stuff is done. If they send it in the USA, it comes here.
Up until about 2019, the samples were sent to Germany, and then we got the machine here in LA. So now the samples are processed really quickly.
Well, that's good, because that's one of the reasons why I didn't really like some of this stuff, because I always thought, whether it's true or not, it's time. I didn't like that it took so long.
Yeah.
I kind of worried that the water, when it finally got there, wouldn't be the same water it might take. Whether it's true or not, I don't know. But now, how fast does this happen? When I send my water in, from time I drop it in the mail until the time it actually gets tested in the machine, how long is that? Okay.
Once we get it, we run the machine every day, Monday through Friday. The machine will run anywhere from 8 to 15 hours, depending on how many samples. And once it's done, ESON will wake up in Australia and process that data.
Okay, so you test the stuff here.
Yes.
But you guys aren't smart enough to know what to do with that data when it comes out.
Not that we're not smart. Well, yeah, we're not smart enough. But also, he won't let us. Otherwise, we don't need him. No, I'm just kidding. No, he's the brains behind it, and he does all that number crunching, and look at all the lines and interferences. 3
days it comes here. You guys process it in a day to 36 hours or something. Then he looks at it. So you're saying about within 1 week for sure.
Yeah.
You're gonna have results. Is that about right?
It's usually about 4 to 5 days. But let's talk briefly about what this thing does. What is actually happening?
Okay.
So we're injecting argon into this machine, which is an inert gas.
Okay.
And the temperature is like 10,000 degrees Fahrenheit. Heats up that sample, all the water leaves in vapor.
Okay.
So now just the elements are left, which is why it doesn't matter if the sample sits for a few days or a week, the elements are still in there. We don't really care what initial form the molecules are in. So if there was bacteria in the sample or anything that changed a little bit, the elements are still there. The constituents of the sample are unchanged.
Okay.
Those go to a high energy state from heating up to 10,000 degrees, then they drop down suddenly and they release light. And every element gives off a different wavelength of light. We can calculate the concentration of that element based on the intensity of that wavelength.
Okay.
And the computer does all that. So all of a sudden one person has more titanium than the next or more molybdenum, it's going to shine a little brighter for that wavelength. And of course there's interferences and the matrix of salt water is challenging.
That's where ESON comes in, because some elements will look like one thing or another, and you need somebody that's kind of an expert sometimes if they kind of look the same.
You have to compare different lines.
Right, and also sometimes it can fool like something that would never be in a reef tank anyway, so you're like, yeah, it can't be that, right?
Right, absolutely, yeah. And that's where his experience comes in and the quality control measures that he does.
Well, that's excellent. As far as like guiding my tank, with ICP results, I'm not that guy, to keep it real. It's just, it just never was for me. But for finding bad stuff in your aquarium, there is nothing better than this, either to find it or to eliminate it as a problem for your issue.
Absolutely. And just to check that box that it's not a heavy metal issue.
Exactly.
And I've got a lot of anecdotal evidence, a lot of stories, and how we've helped people, well-known, Jamie Craig's, Karen Britton, people that have heavy metal issues in their water. Even when we first brought ICP into the U.S. in 2015, there was a lot of products out there, like the aluminum bottles that were used for calcium, alkalinity, and magnesium.
The Thrive guys. The Thrive guys.
Yes, everybody had high levels of aluminum in their tank. They didn't know what it was from.
And there's lithium issues that it was finding, and from salts and all kinds of things. And one of the key things too with one of these is making sure that it's always like in calibration, right? You always have a standard that's running, against the machine. And it's a seawater sample, right?
Yes, it is.
You want to calibrate your equipment as close to the thing you're going to be testing as possible.
So we calibrate to seawater at seawater temperature, and those are the samples that we test.
There is more than one type of ICP. There's an icp-oes, which is what the industry has had, and ESON brought many years ago that to the industry. There's always and has been for quite some time an ICP-MS, mass spec, right, that exists. Do you think that there's any benefit to having an MS, right, over an OES? in our space, right? There's obviously benefits
Right.
in many different other fields, but is there an advantage? And if there is, do you ever see it coming to the Triton stuff?
So ESON, this isn't something new. ESON has already thought about this. The cost of running an ICP MS machine are very expensive to do it correctly. You need a very, very sterile room. You need nuclear grade water. The machine is expensive. There's a lot that goes into it. Also, it's probably not necessary. I mean, do you really need parts per trillion if parts per billion or even parts per million is enough? So I don't know if the industry really needs it. I'm sure there's applications where having that higher resolution is needed, but it should come at a cost to do it correctly.
Okay.
But I think time will tell to see if the industry embraces MS.
If there's
and maybe,
some reason you
sure.
might need it. What you really want is the repeatability, right? That's really, right? You want to have a lab that when you send 3 samples to
Right.
them, you get 3 answers that are about the same.
Right.
Well, that's all the time I got, and I know
Cool.
you're busy too. You're over
Yep.
selling corals over
Doing a
there.
live
and
sale, yep.
Live sale and
And
everything.
it's a Sunday.
I can get this coat off now, I
Yep.
guess, and head on my way. I really appreciate it. I want to come back by when you have the thing all built
Yes.
out so I
Cool.
can see what cool corals you have, and maybe I'll be on the way back up, you know, so I can take
Sounds
something
good.
with me.
Sounds great.
You know that Robusta
Yeah.
piece that you gave me?
Still doing great? Oh my God.
It's
Wow.
that big, buddy.
Yeah. And it's got the green and the red.
Yes, it
Yeah,
looks
it's a sign
beautiful.
of really good water quality.
Pink on the ends of it and
Oh,
all green,
beautiful,
and it is
beautiful.
beautiful. So I'll be back by. Thank you so much, Joe.
You got it, Terence.
As always.
Always a pleasure.
Yep.
Always a pleasure.
Thanks.
And you too, Nancy. Yep.
We're near the Morongo Casino. I don't even know where that is. Near Indio, something. And it is cold as hell this morning. Oh man, the wind is blowing, and I got Teddy duty.